Dad's dream to talk about his favorite team with the son of digging the stats. Come and join us, nerding on the Dbacks.
Hello, welcome to Nerding on the Dbacks, the one and only.
The best and only
The
father-son baseball show
in America.
That's right.
Yep. In America and
India.
And we're not the best show in India because, first of all, we're not in India, and there's a bunch of baseball shows in India.
They sure as hell can download us in India.
Well, we're not in India.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, we're not in India.
Yeah.
This is true. Yeah. So, welcome back, everybody. I'm Dad, a.k.a. Chris.
And I'm Son, a.k.a. Phoenix.
Yeah. So, first, some house cleaning, because that's how we like to start off our shows around here when I think about it. Please like, comment, subscribe, since you're here. And also, just one more thing.
Channel your kindergartner and share.
That's right. You got a new tongue?
Newton, yep, I got my cat bit my tongue.
Nice. That's a mean cat. Was it a Cheshire?
Nope, it was our cat.
Oh, yeah. You getting too close? Yeah.
I tried to give her a high five.
She is really all about the when you get in there.
I tried to give her a high five and she went.
Yeah. Took out your tongue instead.
Yep,
so tell me, I just want to tell you, I am so proud of you. I'm gonna brag a little bit on my son here. They had they called it what, a live wax museum presentation?
They called it the live wax museum presentation.
Yeah, at school, and you could pick basically any historical figure.
Well, they had a bunch of books laid out.
Yeah.
And there were some options, but there were some that were missing.
Okay.
Too,
and so my son, being the baseball fan that he is, picks Roberto Clemente. Let's give it up for my son. Woo! You're gonna give it. That's right. Give yourself a standing ovation.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that's freaking amazing. So what did you? I mean, it was a very short presentation, but you had to read a book about him. So, you're kind of an expert on Roberto Clemente now.
It was a chapter book, so I only read half of it because we had 2 days to read the whole book. And that was very hard for me to do. So I read about half of the book, and then I looked at and then I Googled some things that I wanted to know, and I had to make a poster on it. And I had to did all that, had to write a speech. That was fun, and I got to present it to 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and one class of 5th grade and 1st grade.
In 1st grade, yeah, so cool that you picked Roberto Clemente. Literally, such a great figure in baseball history. So I just wanted to bring that up. That I'm so proud of you for having chosen Roberto Clemente. Of everybody that's out there.
There was a lot of books on the table.
You told me about some of the other figures that people did, and I'm just like, that's kind of an inconsequential, not inconsequential person in history, but not necessarily a good person in history, not like someone who left a real positive mark. But Roberto Clemente is at the top of the mountain.
I didn't tell you about one Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. We've all got our druthers, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
And the Wright brothers.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But I feel like there's some sort of connection between the Wright brothers and Roberto Clemente, and not in a real great way. So anyway, let's move on to talking about a tough week for the Dbacks here.
Yeah.
They went 2-4 in this past week after playing the Mariners on the road and then the Dodgers at home. I really thought they would take 2 out of 3 at home against the Dodgers, but man, those guys just put up a lot of runs. They posted up a -17. That'll eat into your best run differential in baseball. A -17 run differential on the week. And so yeah, that brought them way back. They were kind of lucky to win too. Both the games they won were by 1 run, and the game that all the rest of the games they lost by 2 runs or more. Yeah, so it was like I said, they're lucky, but that's how a season works out, right? We talked about it, that they've been kind of unlucky to this point to have lost so many 1-run games and extra inning games so far this season. And now they won a couple, and that's at the end they're going to be about 500 on those games, and it's just a matter of what they do with the rest of them. So, but yeah, tough week. Injuries, particularly to the pitching staff, especially in the bullpen, are starting to expose themselves. So let's talk a little bit about who helped us win those couple of games and who are kind of the culprits on the team for why they lost 4.
So welcome
specifically.
to our...
That's right. This is Phoenix's segment.
Yep, this is my segment, and it's called Who's Hot and Who's Not. Yeah, give it up. Yeah,
who's hot, who's not. Let's start first.
All right, let's start with
who's hot.
I said it's getting hot in here.
All right.
Yep, let's start off with a Nelly song, and also let's start off with the... Oh.
That's all right. I know who that's supposed to be from the line.
So we got Fott.
Yeah, for your
Brandon Fott for my Who's Hot
starting pitcher.
Yeah, he's really hot right now.
He's so hot right now.
Yeah, and he had 6 innings pitched, which
I really need to get that Hansel drop. He's so hot. Oh no, it wasn't Hansel. They're talking about Hansel. It's what's his name? I know it's Will Ferrell who plays him. I can't remember the Mogatu, right?
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. different
movie.
Same actor, different movie. Yeah, but Mogatu, that's, I believe, Will Ferrell's character in that, and he's always saying, he's so hot right now. Anyway, continue on.
Yep. So, like I was saying, Brandon Fott had 6 innings pitched, and he had 2 runs, which is not too shabby.
Yeah, they call that a quality start.
Yeah, quality start. And his ER?
It's strikeouts?
No, the ER.
Oh, earned runs.
Earned runs is 2, and then his strikeouts is 11.
That's right. That was a career high for him in a single game.
I think that's a career high for anybody.
It's a good game, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a good
game. But what's
game.
most impressive about 11 strikeouts in 6 innings is
0 walks.
That's right. That's impressive. That's like some George Kirby numbers right there.
Yeah.
Especially when you throw in that he had how many home runs given up?
1.
That's exactly what a George Kirby line is like. That's hilarious. So good week for Brandon Fott, and I believe that was pitched against the Mariners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good game. Yeah. So then also your relief pitcher is, I know you don't have the name written there, but I know from the line that you wrote down who it is, and that is Ryan Thompson.
Yep, that is Ryan Thompson. So his inning pitched is 3, and his runs is a big fat 0, and his earned runs is another big fat 0, and his strikeouts are 3, which is not too shabby for a relief pitcher who's only pitched 3 innings, so 1 strikeout per inning.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Yeah, and he's balked 1, which is, acceptable, and 0 home runs hit on him. So yeah,
Ryan Thompson's been absolutely amazing. He's kind of taken over the role that Kevin Ginkel had last year, since Kevin Ginkel has been moved into the closer's role. When Sewell comes back, hopefully soon. I don't know what's happening with him. We know he had a little setback, and not much more news has come out since then about him. And so I hope he's back soon. But because once he does come back, that's going to help out this bullpen a lot. But man, if it wasn't for Ryan Thompson, this bullpen would be looking absolutely horrid because
Yeah.
Ginkel's been fine. Like, he's been good, not bad by any means. He's handled his own, but he hasn't been otherworldly. Thompson's just been outrageous all season
Yeah,
long.
he's been really good.
Yeah.
So, time for
let's
for
talk
our
about the hitters.
Yeah. So we got Christian Walker with an OPS of 1.29, and
That's right. He's one dot in it.
Yeah, he's one dot in it. His plate appearances is 25,
Yeah.
and he has one two-bagger,
Yeah.
and he has 3 home runs.
That's right. He went off for 3 home runs this past week.
Yeah, he hit a walk-off too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has 4 runs, and his RBIs is 5.
Sweet. I love Christian Walker. He's been solid in the middle of the order. Defense has been, I wouldn't say he's been up to his Gold Glove level necessarily in the first month, but he's been very, very good. Definitely not a disappointment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to, first base is hard to judge defense on. It's just like, are you making all the scoops or not? And that so much of it is dependent on your teammates making bad throws, frankly, and you having to bail them out. And the infield hasn't really made a lot of bad throws over
Not really.
to Walker, so he hasn't had opportunities to shine necessarily. So so let's go on. We got one more hot boy.
Yep, and it's funny. Blaze.
That's right.
Blaze.
He's so hot right now.
Blaze.
He's on fire.
He's turning into a blaze. And his OPS is 1 dotter. 1 dotter. But if we want to go into technical terms, it's 1.012. And for his plate appearances, he has 12 plate appearances. And he also has 1 2-bagger. And he has 0 home runs. And he has 3 runs, and he has 0 RBIs. But the most craziest part is he has 0 strikeouts and 5 walks.
That's right. Yeah, he had a great week, and he's really blossomed. We're going to talk a little bit more about Blaze here later on the show, but so far this season, he has been, even with what he put up in spring training, because we didn't have, essentially, I'm such a sucker for this stuff, but I don't buy into spring training hype very often, right? We kind of talked about that.
Me neither.
And we don't get StatCast data for much of the spring training games. And so I just I'm always kind of questionable, and a lot of the spring training games weren't on TV. So I didn't get to see a lot of Blaze and how he was hitting. And maybe he was just peppering line drives all over the field. I don't know the answer to that during spring training, but wow, he is just barreling up so many baseballs. It is impressive. And his ability to take really good plate appearances, as exemplified by 5 walks without striking out once, is incredible. And the only thing that sucks about reading this line and what his performance was like the past week was that he sat half of the games. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. But we're going to talk about that some more later.
He's playing his best. I don't understand why you sit him.
Torrey's having some weird lineup construction going on these days, which, I mean, the thing is, the lineup isn't really the reason why this team's not winning games, as we'll discuss as well. But go on, let's talk about.
Let's get to the ice babies.
Yeah, who's cold?
All right, so let's get to these ice babies. And for our starting pitcher, it is going to be Jordan Montgomery, which is kind of sad. He's new to the team. He had a quality start last time, so he just kind of fell apart, I guess.
Yeah, both his first 2 starts were great.
Yeah.
But his start against the Dodgers yesterday did not go well.
Yeah. And he had 3 innings pitched, which is, pretty decent. And he got 6 runs on him, which
all earned.
Yep, all earned, which is kind of bad. He only has 1 strikeout, and he's walked 3 batters, which is kind of sad. And he got 2 home runs hit off of him, which is not ideal.
Yeah, the home runs and the walks. That he only had 1 strikeout. Not a huge shocker against the Dodgers lineup. I had seen prior to that, and I didn't go and dig into it, but I'd seen prior to him starting, or supposed to be starting on the B night, that he basically has been lit up by the Dodgers his entire career. And so,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to have clunkers. Every pitcher is going to have them, and they're probably going to come against the Dodgers, teams like the Dodgers and the Braves more often than teams like the Cardinals and the Rockies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I wish we went up to teams that are like the Rockies, but let's get to our not hot reliever.
So Jordan Montgomery, turn it around your next time.
Yeah, come on.
You got
man.
this, buddy. All right.
All right, so we're going to our relief pitcher. It is Scott McGuff. You know it's bad when Dad goes, ugh. So he has 2 innings pitched, and he has 4 runs on him, which is not as bad as Jordan Montgomery, but it's not ideal either. He has 3 earnies on him, I guess.
Yeah, 3 of those 4 were earned.
Yeah, he has 0 strikeouts, and he's walked 6 batters.
With no strikeouts.
Yep,
That
no
is
strikeouts.
brutal.
Yeah, usually you love that for a hitter, but for a pitcher, it's really bad.
Yeah, he's turning everybody into Blaze Alexander up there, basically.
Yeah,
Yep.
and so his home run, he got 1 home run hit on him.
Yeah, he gave up 1 homer.
Yep.
Yeah, Scott McGuff, he started off the season on kind of rocky, and it's just getting worse and worse. I know I had made the prediction on our show Friday, or on it was on Monday. I made the prediction on Monday that he's going to get sent down before the end of
Yeah, I remember you making that.
May, and he's really making sure that's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. All right, so time for the hitters. It hurts me to say this, but, we got to stick to the stats. Lourdes Gurriel.
Yeah,
That-
absolutely. Ice cold right now.
Yeah, that hurts a lot to say, but the show must go on. So his OPS is 115. No 1 dotter. Wait, is that? Yeah, no 1 dotter.
Nope, just
Not
115 OPS. That's
not even close.
That's like a bad pitcher line
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yeah. So he has 26 plate appearances, and he has 0 2 baggers and 0 home runs and only 1 run.
Scored,
Yeah, only 1 run scored.
And no RBI, huh?
And no RBI.
Oh, yeah. So Lourdes, you gotta pick this up, buddy. You're the heart and soul of this team. That's my talk.
Yeah. Okay. And for the next one,
Maybe you should dye the hair red,
yeah.
like you suggested.
Or he should dye the hair blue because he's cold right now.
Oh, burn, sick burn. Well, that's why we need to get him to dye it red. That way he catches on fire.
Yeah. So for our second hitter, we have
It kind of would look like a fire on his head with the way it just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
The whole hair red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is an idea. Just keep the tips kind of yellowish so that it looks like the ends of the flame. Yeah. All right. Throwing that out to you, Lourdes. Run with it. Got putting big money on you.
Well, we gotta get a translator for that.
This is true. Rojo. I don't know what hair is.
Rojo Harris.
All right. Before we get us kicked off the air.
Yeah,
let's move on to the second cold hitter
Yep, it's
for the second week in a row.
Rookie of the year back there. So I want to take that down. Doing so bad, but we got Corbin Carroll. His OPS is 372, not even close to a 1 dotter. And he has one 2 bagger, but he doesn't have any home runs or runs.
Or RBI.
He has one, I think. Right?
He did have one RBI?
Yeah, I think he did
would have
have
had
one.
2 if it wasn't for Gabriel Moreno running the bases twice in the Dodgers series, like a little leaguer. First, he slid into first base,
Yeah.
feet first, on a play that definitely was not a tag play. Don't ever do that. All you're going to do is just hurt yourself. And
Yeah.
you're reducing your chances of making it to first because you're only getting slower as soon as you start your slide. You slow down. And then
When I was in Little League, I slid it into first, and Dad was like, "Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not good. It doesn't help you at all." And I was
Nope.
like, "Okay."
nope,
And
you literally
it's been
start to
it's been the same since now.
as soon as you hit the ground, because of the friction of your body along the ground, you start to decelerate at a very fast pace. And if you just run, you go faster through the base. And so, yeah, just crazy. I don't know why he did it. It looks so weird. And then, at least he was safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then later in a
think
game later,
I think he thought because his like legs would go longer.
he's got go gadget legs. That's it. That's for you millennials out there watching this.
I don't understand what you just said, but you know, that's for being a next gen or whatever we are.
Yeah. I don't know what generation you are. What are you? Generation Z?
I don't know. Generation A, B, C, D. It's just the whole alphabet at this point, but
Okay. Yeah, we're working on it. So yeah, sorry to interrupt Corbin Carroll. But yeah, and then Gabriel Moreno with 2 outs on a line drive into the outfield, hit by Corbin Carroll, which Corbin turned into a double. Moreno's watching the ball as he rounds second base instead of watching his base coach.
Yep. And you on the replay, you saw Lourdes go like, no, and he grabbed his hair, and everybody was like,
Yeah, everybody was freaking out that Moreno did that. All right.
we're gonna pretend like that didn't happen.
Yeah, no, that was just an alarm on my phone.
Yep. We're sorry
right.
for that. I hope you didn't hear that. He paused it pretty quick. So
Yeah, I got it. No, so anyway, yeah, Corbin, Lourdes, Montgomery, I got faith in all you guys. McGuff, I want you to turn it around, but I don't have so much faith. But all the rest of you, Snaps, go get it. Go get it. We love you. No?
Yeah.
Yes.
For Scott, you're like, I want you to turn it around, but I also want to get this prediction right.
It's not that. I would love for him to turn it around. It's just McGuff doesn't have a real great history of pitching. We went over all of this right on the last show. Like, he's 34 years old. He wasn't that good of a pitcher last year. He really doesn't have a track record of being that good of a pitcher. He's got options left. I would just send him down at this point and have him waiting in Reno as
What type
an
of deal
emergency.
is he on? What does he
He's
have?
got one guaranteed year left on his contract. But that shouldn't have an impact on, because he has an option, it should not make a difference on whether you keep him on the major league roster or you send him to the minors.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably, I saw Goldschmidt Happens made the comment that, which if you don't follow Goldschmidt Happens, go follow him, including a Substack. Fantastic read.
Or John Boy. I like him.
He doesn't need a promo.
Yeah, but he makes funny videos, so I like it.
So,
Totally farted. I love that video.
so
That's very funny.
So yeah, Goldschmidt Happens made the comment that that McGuff could probably be sent through. He could probably be designated for assignment and sent through waivers without being picked up by anybody, because he's got a $3.5 million contract and no one's going to want to add that to their team. And that could make some room on the 40-man roster for another relief pitcher who's performing pretty well right now at AAA.
How old is Scott?
34.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he's probably, I don't have a lot of faith in him at this point, and I wish the best for him. I hope he finds something he's never had before, because otherwise he probably needs to be sent down to AAA, optioned at a minimum, possibly DFA'd.
Yep.
So,
All right, that's the end of that segment.
yeah, so
let's move
very
on.
cool. So, yeah, they won 2 games in the past week, right?
Yep.
One of those games that they won, there was a B delay.
Yep.
Apparently, there's been one other B delay at Chase Field before.
I never thought there would be a B delay.
Yeah, there was one other B delay. It was apparently only a few minutes. Yeah, it was in the middle of a game. It was out in the outfield. I don't remember the story to it, but
Oh,
yeah.
I think they were like flying around. I don't know why.
Yeah, so
And there was like a guy who's like,
yeah, so anyway, the B, obviously, if you haven't seen the B videos, you've got to. It was the talk of baseball for like 24 hours.
it's really crazy. I saw pictures. I was like,
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And so they, amazing. The beekeeper that came out and brought them down, and then he got to throw out the first pitch, which was fantastic. What a day for him! But I was thinking about this, and that was the only game that they won in the Dodgers series was the B game, and I feel like there needs to be something done here. The D-backs could use a little bit of a bump. I feel like they could use some team building. And I think it's got to be around a B theme.
it's got to be a B theme. I mean, that's the only one they won.
They got it. They have a whole day off today, and I hope they came up with something. It could be, I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, they don't have any home run celebration. They kind of just walk into the dugout and
Yeah,
High
high fives.
fives,
Yeah.
flat
So maybe they have a fake beehive that whoever it is that hits the home run, they get thrown at them after they come across home plate, and they have to run around and pat themselves like bees are attacking them.
I don't know about run around. It's kind of like
Yeah. Swat at the bees. Yeah. Swat at imaginary bees. Or, hear me out, could be a fake beehive that's just in the dugout, like a speed bag, and you could just go in and speed bag the beehive. Or you could have a fake beehive there that's got a hole in it, and you could put your hand inside and then take your hand out and lick it like you just grabbed a bunch of honey. I just feel like they won the B game. They need something to spark this team, and I feel like this is an amazing team building moment.
on that. I want to put out one idea.
Yes.
So when they get back to the dugout, everybody surrounds the person who hit the home run like they're the queen of the hive, and because that's why the bees went over there, because they wanted their hive apparently got like attacked or something. And
It got destroyed.
and they had to like go somewhere, so they went on that, and they had to protect the queen. So that's why they like bunched up. So I feel like that would be cool. It's like if you hit a home run, you get like surrounded, or like you get. It's kind of like a huddle, and you're in the middle, and they're all surrounding you.
Maybe they just put
That'd
like
be
a couple of like bee antennas on top.
Or they put a beehive on top of your head.
Yeah, that would work too. I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. That's a great idea. So we've got concepts here, D-backs. Roll with one of these.
Or something original, Just do something B
Bee
related.
Yes, B theme. B theme. We need the B theme. You could call yourselves the B team instead of the A team. So yeah. So I love this idea. I hope they go with it. I legitimately hope when we see them take the field against the Padres that there's something B themed in the dugout. And as soon as Jock Peterson gets a leadoff home run,
Okay, you're locking in that prediction. Did you really just say that?
he comes back to the dugout and a B celebration goes down.
Yep, you're locking that in.
Yeah.
You get 2 predictions next time. That's your one.
So yeah, so on that note of Jock Peterson, I want to discuss leadoff hitter So when it comes to leadoff hitter, I don't know how much you know about constructing a roster or a lineup for optimization, but typically you more or less want to go your best player first down to your worst player ninth, right? Because your the first man in your lineup's going to get the most plate appearances throughout the course of a season. And the player at the bottom is actually probably, if they played if each player in your lineup played 162 games and they stayed in that spot in the lineup the entire season, the first player in the lineup would get about 150 more plate appearances than the last player in the lineup.
Oh, wow.
Maybe 100, probably actually even more, probably 160 or 170, to be honest, if I'm doing the math right. So it's a lot. And so what's the most important attribute of a player on offense? What's the most important thing that they can do or not do?
On offense,
Yep.
hit a home run.
That is the most important thing. But what's the most...
Get a hit.
Yes. Another way to say it is don't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't have to get a hit necessarily. If you walk, great. That works. You're getting on base. You're putting yourself in a position to score, and you're not making it out for your team because those outs are precious. You only get 27 of them in a game, and so you got to make the most of them. And so
sometimes more
if it's extras, but yeah. So avoiding outs is the most important skill of an offensive player, and that is reflected in the statistic on base percentage or OBP, right? Yeah. So right now there are two guys on this team. I should say there's Christian Walker as well, but Christian Walker is batting cleanup. He's batted cleanup every game, and there's no reason to change that. He's hitting home runs. He's walking at a good rate. So typically you want your best on base guy batting leadoff, and then you kind of want your best all-around hitter batting second, and then you want your best power hitter batting fourth, and your next best power hitter batting fifth.
Now I see why Jock's on the
hitter
list.
I propose, I'm kind of getting sick of seeing Jake McCarthy bat leadoff and all these other slap hitters that don't walk ever. They don't
slappies.
They don't work the count. They don't get on base very often. When they do get on base, it's by hits. It's not that Jake McCarthy's been bad by any means. He's perfectly fine. It's just you really, really want to start off the top of your lineup with someone who is on base more than pretty much everybody else who's coming after. Because if that person's on base, the hitters that are coming up after him are going to be the most likely to drive him in for a run. And so I want to see, at this point, Jock Peterson versus righties should be in the leadoff spot every time. He, going back to about August of 2022, he has pulled in to an elite on-base percentage, an elite walk rate. He's set in like the top 10th percentile, maybe even like the top 5th percentile at this point for walk rate, going back 9 months of baseball being played now.
What I think the Tory's trying to do is he's trying to a pretty fast player on base.
That's not important though.
But he's not, and I think he thinks of Jock as kind of a power hitter more than a on base guy, and he's not fast, and I don't think he's trying to put Jock on there, and maybe Jock doesn't want to be leadoff.
Maybe Jock doesn't want to lead off.
Yeah.
I would bat him lead off though. He's got a 451 on base percentage. That's literally like peak Barry Bonds on base percentage, and that doesn't even include all the intentional walks that Barry Bonds was getting on top of his walks that he took while he was getting actually pitched to. And so Jock absolutely should be leading off versus right-handers. I hope that starts. I hope he is leading off tomorrow in San Diego. I mean, I would unquestionably put him at leadoff at this point. There's nobody else. The only other person that I would consider would be Ketel Marte. So if Tory wants the speed that you're talking about, put Marte at leadoff and then put Jock second. I'm cool with that. I'm good with that.
Yeah, and
But then you have
know,
your two best. You basically have your two best guys, Jock and Marte, batting first and second, and they're your two highest OBP guys outside of Blaze, who they should bat third, and then Walker, who's batting fourth. And that would be your four best on-base percentage guys to start off your lineup. You are maximizing your opportunities for runs. And then against left-handers, they should be batting Blaze at leadoff. Or, again, if you want Marte at leadoff, fine. And then just put Blaze at second.
Yep.
But, yeah, I really... Jock should be batting 1, 2, or 3. At this point, he should absolutely be batting first, second, or third in this lineup. There's no question about it. With his on-base percentage and what he's doing versus right-handers, he should be batting. And with the way that Torrey is just grasping at straws to try to find something at the top of the lineup that works to score more runs, that he hasn't put Jock in the top 3 just blows my mind.
what is he in now?
He's bats 5 every game.
Oh, wait, who bats fourth? Lourdes?
Walker.
Oh, wait, Lourdes is 3, right?
Lourdes has been batting second or third.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
And wait, Alec Thomas is injured. And they put JG McCarthy at what? Leadoff?
They've been having him lead off like the last 3
And
games versus righties.
And where's Cattell?
Batting second or third. Him and Gurriel have kind of been flip-flopping
Oh, okay.
for the past
Okay.
week. Yeah. So, so that's really it. First, they need all the offense they can get, and having guys on base for your best hitters is going to be the best way to score. And so I hope that's something I'd really like to see out of this team. And then finally, let's kind of talk about a little bit about the offense for the whole month of March and then April as well. Kind of looking at it, I know I mentioned the thing about the offense, and yes, we need to maximize offense. That said, they're 10th in weighted runs created plus at the end of the month. You know what that means? I got one of my predictions. And then they're second in runs, and
Ooh, second.
they are 6th in walks and 12th in slugging percentage. And now this is after April. This is before their game on April 1st. So they did fall back to, I think, 12th in work plus and 3rd in runs scored. They've got the 6th best walk rate. So they're doing a good job of walking. That's mostly due to Christian Walker. Great name for someone who walks a lot. and then Jock Peterson, and to a lesser degree, Blaze Alexander.
It would be better if he was a girl. Walker.
Yeah.
Walker.
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 So they're pitching on the whole, and they've done a good job of just scoring runs. They got 12th. They're 12th in slug. They're hitting well with runners in scoring position, which I know makes a lot of people just shake their head. No, they haven't, but they really have. It's just they haven't hit very well with runners in scoring position 7th inning and on. That's really where they've struggled. Mm-hmm. And then, in the first 6 innings, they drive everybody in. It's incredible. So their pitching has been okay it's been below average to passable. They're 18th in FIP. They're 21st in ERA, so not awesome. This is the part that, and we're going to break this down a little further. They're 27th in strikeouts per 9, and that's really, really rough.
Why is that really, really rough?
I'm going to get into that here a little bit more. They're 10th in walks per 9, so that's pretty good. Now, let's break that down further. Their starting pitching, 13th in FIP. Okay, better. So their starting pitching has been still not great, but good. Considering all the injuries that they've been dealing with in their rotation all season long, with Rodriguez out, with Montgomery missing 4 turns through the rotation, and or 3 or 4 turns through the rotation, with Ryan Nelson going down, and all the innings pitched by Tommy Henry. I feel like that's not great, but it could be worse. They're 16th in strikeouts per 9. This pitching staff is not, the starting rotation is not built to strike people out, but they do a really good job of suppressing runs anyway. And then they're 7th in walk rate. So they do a really good job. So obviously the starting rotation is doing pretty good. This is where the real separation has happened, I would say, over the past 10 days or so. For the first 3 weeks of the season, the starting rotation and the bullpen were pretty much neck and neck. They were both doing their jobs evenly, right? Remember us talking about that?
Yeah.
Well, the bullpen sense has fallen apart. Now, that's going to happen when you have 3 of your 8 relief pitchers that started the season in the bullpen all go on the injured list in a row.
Because pitchers break. We need
Pitchers
to make
break.
a shirt
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, we should just make a shirt, pitchers break.
It's like this shirt, maybe you should practice, but it's just pitchers break.
Yep. They break so often. And yeah, so when you have three relief pitchers go on the injured list, just like within 48 hours of each other, that's pretty much when all of this when the bullpen fell apart, was when all those guys got hurt. Since then, it's been pretty ugly. They now, it's so ugly that for the full month, they finished 20th in FIP, 29th in strikeouts per 9, and 26th in walks per 9. So that means they're basically not striking anybody out, and they're walking a bunch of guys. This kind of exposes through the stats how they've lost games, because they're not able, the bullpen is giving up runs, and it's not necessarily based on the 20th in FIP. It's not necessarily that they're pitching terribly, they're pitching poorly, but the fact that they can't strike anybody out, it leaves a lot of opportunity for weird random things to happen, for bloops to fall in. You walk somebody, they steal a base, which that's obviously not happening because Gabriel Moreno is behind the plate for most games. But you walk somebody, and then all it takes is just someone to hit a double somewhere, or you walk somebody, you give up a bloop single, and then someone rips a double, and 2 runs are in, and you didn't actually pitch all that poorly necessarily, but you didn't pitch terribly, but you pitched poorly, and it's starting to add up and starting to add up. You really, really want strikeouts out of your bullpen. The Dbacks are one of the only teams in Major League Baseball. I haven't looked at how many of this is, but I'm going to guess they're one of like 5 or 6 teams that the bullpen strikes out hitters at a lower rate than the starting rotation does, which is not good because the starting rotation doesn't even strike out that many people, that many hitters. And so they need more Ks in their pen, really, really bad. They just need more strikeouts. They just don't have enough. And despite all the peripherals, random stuff happens to pitchers that just run score. And that leads me to the Dakota Chalmers update. You've heard me talk about Dakota Chalmers on here before. I'm not going to stop banging this drum. I don't know why they brought up Brandon Hughes. Now, Brandon Hughes pitched really well. At this point, I would be waiving Scott McGuff, ask him to take his assignment down in AAA, and I would be bringing Dakota Chalmers up, because Dakota Chalmers now, at this point in the season, this is as of through April or through May 1st. Yeah, through May 1st, he has 12 innings pitched with 23 strikeouts. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Holy crap.
And eight walks for a team that is just desperate for strikeouts, just needs strikeouts almost at the expense of anything else at this point, just to have somebody that can come in from the bullpen and strike guys out. Dakota Chalmers seems like an absolute necessity for this bullpen.
Yes.
He may not be good. I don't know. He may turn out to just be, a complete train wreck at the major league level, but the
Yes.
numbers scream, call me up, I'm exactly what you need.
I feel like they really need they really need to test something, because whatever they're doing is just not working right now. And if he's bad, just send him back down, and just try and find another solution. And if he's good, well, he's good, and you get a pitcher who can just strike people out, and that's what you were saying we need is
Right.
more strikeouts. And just because he's walked a batter doesn't mean that he can't just strike out people.
That's still a 3-to-1, essentially a 3-to-1 ratio, which is kind of what you want out of your. I mean, there are guys who look at Craig Kimbrell, who's probably going to go to the Hall of Fame. He's got like a 2-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, but he strikes out so many people that nobody can score off of him, because he might walk somebody, but then he's going to strike somebody out, and then he's going to strike someone else out, and then he's going to walk another person, and then he's going to strike somebody else out.
And then they're standing.
Right. And so that is the kind of thing, yes, it does. It can be kind of a frustrating watch, but because if you've ever talked to any fan of a team that had Craig Kimbrell on it, the ninth inning is just absolute, just heart in your throat the entire time that you're watching it, because he's just always got traffic on the bases. But they rarely score because he just strikes out so many guys.
The ball doesn't really get in play. That's
Right. That's exactly right. And when the ball doesn't get in play, it's really hard for bad things to happen. And so I think Dakota Chalmers, again, I'm not saying Dakota Chalmers is going to be some like Hall of Fame reliever or even an eighth inning quality setup man. I just think this team is in desperate need of something different out of their bullpen.
Yeah.
Specifically, somebody who can strike guys out. And Dakota Chalmers is one of the best relief pitchers in all of AAA at striking guys out. And so
That's what we need.
I know. It seemed obvious a week ago they should have called him up, and they still haven't. I'm hoping it comes, because man, does this team need strikeouts out of its bullpen. And speaking of bullpen, Kyle Nelson, who had just a fantastic first few weeks of the season. I pitched 6 or 7, 8 scoreless innings, something along those lines, to start this season, and out of the bullpen. He's having thoracic outlet surgery, which is absolutely terrible. They essentially remove one of your ribs from up at the top of your rib cage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they're rubbing against each other, and it's causing a lot of pain when you throw, and you can't throw as hard. And so the thoracic outlet surgery is not good. It's kind of like UCL reconstruction surgery back in the 80s, or Tommy John surgery, if you will, where when guys had it, it was kind of a coin flip. You really didn't know what was going to happen. Were they going to come back like they were? Were they going to come back better? Were they going to come back worse?
Why is it called Tommy John? And who's?
Because the very, 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 very first pitcher who ever got it was named Tommy John.
I thought it was somebody. I didn't know. I didn't know it was a pitcher.
Yeah.
I think it was like a pitcher or something.
He was the very first pitcher who ever got it, I think in 1978. And so when pitchers were starting
Did he
to
just make up the surgery?
No, but he was the first major league pitcher to get the surgery done to him. And so it just became known as Tommy John surgery. Kind of like how it got to be known as Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yep.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's not good. I would say the majority of pitchers who come back after thoracic outlet surgery are not major league quality pitchers anymore.
Oh man.
It's really sad. That said, as crazy as the odds are, probably the 2 best results in all of Major League history for coming back from thoracic outlet surgery play for the Diamondbacks in Merrill Kelly, who had thoracic outlet surgery in 2020, and Ryan Thompson, who had it in 2019. So you can come back from it just as good and sometimes better than you were before. Because unlike Tommy John, where they're literally just like reconstructing your elbow ligament, with thoracic outlet surgery, they're legitimately changing the way that your arm can come through the zone because they're freeing up some of the spacing in your shoulder and so
I'm so sorry.
that's okay.
Yeah, I had to turn that off. It was getting very annoying for me, and I bet it's getting annoying for you. So
they probably
continue
couldn't
on.
hear it, but yeah.
It was his phone buzzing, but continue.
Yeah, so he was pitching so well before he got hurt. I hope he comes back just fine. Best wishes to Kyle Nelson. Let's see you in 2024. Sorry, it's 2024 already. Let's see you in 2025, buddy. Here's a little standing O for you to get off the gurney and come back throwing darts on that mound next year. So Dbacks prospect list came out on Fangraphs, and Jordan Lawler is still loved by prospect lists everywhere. He's in the top 10 pretty much everywhere, and he's probably, now that we've had some graduations, I would guess that Lawler is in the top 5 for prospects in Major League Baseball. Tommy Troy is ranked pretty highly still. He was, as we discussed, he was in the top 100 on Fangraphs. And then it gets thin quickly. I mean, you're talking, you got a couple of A-ball guys at 3 and 4 in, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce these correctly, Hansel Luis and Adriel Rodney. And Rodney's not even 17 years old yet. So it's going to be a little while before we see him. And then Slade, who's up now, who I think is got a future. You got Jorge Barosa. But even most of these guys, they're just kind of like major league caliber level players, most likely in their future, but nothing outstanding. Christian Mena, I think, has a chance to be something a little more. He's in AAA. He's only 21 years old, and he's kind of tearing it up in Reno right now, which is a hard place to be tearing it up. So I think he might be something. The most disappointing part, I guess, if you want to call it, is Drew Jones. Drew Jones has fallen all the way to number 16 on their list.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, he was number 3 last year. And yeah, I know he's been hurt a lot, but he just when he has played, he hasn't looked very good. It's just really, really big bummer what's happened with his career. He's probably still got all the physical tools to get back on track. Obviously, I'm not watching Drew Jones games, so I don't know, but I'm hoping he can. His team could really use a break like that, but mostly they need some bullpen help. So we'll see. I still stand by. Well, I haven't made this prediction yet on the show, so I'm going to hold this one. But they need some more bullpen help, and Dakota. Dakota. So anyway, let's turn this around to something kind of happy, because Jordan Lawler, our number 1 prospect, is probably out for another month and change, maybe 2 months still. Tommy Troy is still kind of a long ways away, and so we need something to be excited for. What are you excited for in the upcoming week and month here, Phoenix?
Well, for me, as I said when we were doing our segment, it hurt for me to say that Lourdes was on the cold side. So I want to see Lourdes turn it around, go to his home run streak again. I want to see that again.
Yes.
That was very awesome for me. And he was on track to hit. I think it was like 28 home runs I made on the prediction. That prediction.
I think he needs some pineapple rum.
Yeah, he did something. And I'm also excited. I also am very excited for this. I want a bee celebration.
I love it. I love it. I do too. I think it's a brilliant. It's one of those celebrations that has got a lot of originality, is just to them, and is kind of the moment. It's taking something that happened in the season rather than like trying to come up with something. You're just grabbing onto something that happened this season and taking it for a ride. I kind of base this off because it's also become the talk of baseball. Look at what the Twins have done with their Homer sausage. The sausage has become the talk of baseball as well, along with the bees. It's like the two talks of baseball right now is the Twins sausage and the Dbacks bees. And Dbacks have got to take that and run with it, because the Twins, as soon as they started throwing their sausage around, they went on a 10-game heater. They've won 10 straight. And so now and they're still on it. And the D-backs could do something along those lines too. So, yeah. I like it. Bee celebration. For me, I want to see Slade Ciccone keep it up. I actually picked him up in my big money fantasy league. I got faith in this kid. He could be something big. Blaze and shortstop. Blaze has been absolutely crushing it, taking walks, hitting line drives everywhere. I want to see him play more. He deserves to be starting more frequently.
I'm sorry to go back to this, but like a celebration. I mean, for the Giants, I think it was, a guy just spit out water and they turned it into a whole celebration.
The Orioles, yeah.
Orioles, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you gotta do something with with the bees. You know, like when a pitcher hit a bird, like I feel like they should turn that into some celebration. Like what, you remember that?
Yeah.
That was
well,
cool.
You don't want to turn that into a celebration, but I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, but you got to make something with the bees.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be one of our suggestions, but it should. So yeah.
You don't need to give us credit.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
And then going back to Blaze, I think he's probably the starting third baseman in 2025 and beyond, but I want him to get everyday shortstop reps here for a solid month, see if his defense improves. And then, because if he does get those reps, it's certainly going to help him next season when he is in at a full-time position. And then it's not D-back specific, but one thing I'm really excited for is swing metrics are getting dropped in a couple of weeks on Baseball Savant. And I'm interested to see how D-backs players compare to the league and to each other. We got to wrap this up, though, in a hurry. So please, thank you for hanging around this long. Like, comment, subscribe.
And share.
That's
Tell
right.
your inner kindergartner.
That's right. And with that,
Nerding
on the
Dbacks. Woo! That might have been loud.
Bye.